What's up, Dr. Grissom? I am here to give you our Sprint 2 update from my part YouTube video. Fortunately for you, we're not opening up any Pokemon cards in this video, but it's okay. We'll get them next time. Maybe I'll open up a pack for you for next week. Maybe I'll open up this one. I haven't opened up one of these yet. Ironically, I do have a bunch on my screen. Anyway, let's get down to the nitty-gritty here. If you see me looking to the right, it's because I'm kind of going down the list just to make sure I don't leave anything out. So, kind of as you can see, this is actually currently on the branch that I've been working on. This is our feature branch 10. The 10 comes from our tickets in Jira, because we do have a ticketing system, so that we do have numbers to keep track of all of our features. This is login with Firebase. We have both our Google authentication and our normal login based in this same feature branch. Right now, as you can see, this is like the basic. Our built-in way to get to our login screen right now is just through the home screen as a temporary fix, so we could access it easier. Right here, I haven't actually merged the develop branch with my feature branch to get all of Mina's code for that, but I will show you actually a quick demo of that on the develop branch. Git checkout develop. So I'm just double checking to make sure my branch is updated. So I should be able to npm start this. Alrighty. And I'll have this hooked up here for you. Sorry, I don't intend to make this like a super long video. I'll be quite shorter with these other parts here, but I just want to make sure that you're able to see everything that's been done. As you can see that the nav bar has been done. I'll also show you the stuff that I did for week 1 with pretty much the GitHub check-in, because that was like my big contribution here to at least like our week 1. I'll also be showing the code through GitHub. I know I have the IDE up here, but here, let's go to the login page. This is what our login page looks like. This is going to be where the sign in with Google will be put in here momentarily too. Just because I still don't really know how to merge with the develop branch. So that way I get all the changes from develop onto my feature branch. But we aren't quite done with that yet. Alright. So, yeah, you can kind of see that we have all the screens set up. Cool. Sorry if you heard that in the background. Alright, so the first thing I am going to show you here is the GitHub. So let me pull these all over here for you. So this is all the code for right now in our Firebase index for our GitHub. So pretty much what I did is I configured the Firebase app on our Firebase console. I do need to put this in a .env. I actually will be assigning that to Dallas for this next sprint to do. We have this to check to see if there is a current user. Here is our sign-in function. And then here's all the Google authentication functions. This did take a lot of research because we are not using the detached version of Firebase, which is detached from Expo. So this is actually still in beta. There's not a guarantee that it'll work right now, just because I have not been able to quite test it yet, since we've still been struggling a little bit with the Firebase configuration, mainly because of a WSL2 error, which I will also get into. So, does it say GitHub check-in code for last sprint? I need to show source tree. Okay. Yeah, so these are all the functions here for the Google authentication that will be implemented this sprint with our implementation of the Google Auth in the back end. Pretty much the goal for this sprint with the Google Auth is to get functions able to work. Since I haven't tested it yet, it is not quite 100% done, but this is something that'll definitely be done this next sprint, as I think I have done over 14 hours for this last sprint for working on a bunch of different things. Anyway, just to kind of show the basic of the pickup gap, I'm going to show you, these are all our feature branches. We have a develop branch, which everything will get pushed to once we see that it works. We also have a prototype branch as a backup of the develop in case it gets messed up. And then we have our master, which once we know that something works on the develop, we copy it to the master branch, just so that way we could... like the master is going to be where our final finished product is going to be on. This is overall the whole entire like application. Actually, let me go back to this feature. This is so what I'm going to show you here. We are keeping our Firebase attached to Expo. So Expo Firebase is like recently come out of beta. That's why it's the 7.9.0 version. The issue that we had with this is that if you're on a Windows computer, when you're trying to download the packages, Windows will say that it does not own some of these files, even though it does when you're trying to install it, and it'll cause an error not allowing Expo Firebase to be downloaded. So what we had to do to fix this is we had to install WSL2, which is a Windows subsystem for Linux. I was able to find this guide and kind of follow it through, going all the way down this, having to install Ubuntu 18.04 LTS. And then from there, I had to install Node.js onto Ubuntu 18.04 because the version of Node on there is version 4, which is really downgraded, so nothing would actually end up working. And then from there, this was supposed to be the npm install screen. I'm sorry about that. How to install npm on Ubuntu 18.04. I'm just trying to show you these just so I can kind of show you the process that we had to discover to do this. The same site actually shows how to install npm as well. Anyway, so we had to go through all that, and after doing that, in our console here, I'm going to select the default. I was able to Expo install it using this Linux terminal, and it worked perfectly fine. There were a few other errors here and there that had to do with other modules, but those were very fixable and very doable. A lot of deleting the node modules folder to fix that. However, Dallas, Azaria, and Du Bois still have this issue, which is why I created a ticket on Gantt, which you'll see here in a minute, showing that. So I showed the Git code. Okay. New code highlight. So this is part of the new code highlight, I guess, in a sense, having that Firebase 7.9. The Firebase is linked up. There is potentially a few other packages I might install for Google Auth, maybe to just help with the functionality. I'm going to go back here, back into the app. So I'm going to really highlight now the code here from what I did. Like I said, I did all of this, setting up the Firebase config, setting up the basic sign-in function, which is actually a pretty cool function that Sai showed me last semester on how to do. And it's, from what I understand, is like slightly faster than the way that Spencer Carley showed us. I don't know how true that is, but that's just what I read in documentation. So this is our function Google Auth provider. This is making sure that Google Auth authentication will be the provider, and it'll send us to the well, not send us, but this is pretty much get like the screen that it'll do it. This is the pop-up, so this will actually get the credentials from the Google Auth, and the Firebase OAuth credential will be put into our database as soon as we link that up this sprint. This is the redirect result. So this redirect result is to determine whether or not you actually like your token is accessible, and it'll allow you to use the Google API and will redirect you to the Google sign-in. This is building the Google sign-in with the Firebase auth, so this will actually build the screen. This is the function that is pretty much like once you sign in, it'll actually send everything to the Firebase. If you decide to sign out, it has the unsubscribe function there. And then this is just a checker to see if the user is already in Firebase when they log in. So because we don't need to re-authenticate them if they've already logged in once using Google Auth, we just need to make sure that they are already in our database. So that all of this hasn't quite been tested yet, also because we haven't made our register pages, which is another thing that is for us to do this upcoming sprint. Okay, so next is the quantity of work and project management. So I'll pull up our team Gantt. So first I'm going to pull up the timesheet. This is what, I'm sorry that this video is kind of long. Alright, so this is this week. So I'm going to go all the way back, I think. Can I choose dates? I don't know. So anyway, you can see here that there's a total of 2 hours and 15 minutes this is the very, very first week of us doing anything. This is me setting up the GitHub repository, beginning to set up the branches so that way they all function correctly, and you're able to use like git checkout -b and then whatever new branch you want to do to create a branch, and having them all linked to the develop, which is linked to the prototype, which is then linked up to the master. Then inviting the people, everybody to the repo and making sure that they all have access. That only took like 15 minutes. And then creating the database seed with test data. We have like a test login. Dallas actually mainly did that. I forgot the log hours for that, but it only took like 5 minutes. I should have probably added that in. My apologies for that. So now I'm going to go to the next week. So this is where I had... this is last week from the 24th to the 30th. It doesn't include the 31st, which I'll show you the next one. So on Saturday, I spent 6 hours helping Dallas with the linking with Firebase. The reason why it's 85% done is because I passed on the actual linking to log in to Dallas. But he was having those issues with the WSL portion because he's on a PC, and PC does not like that Expo Firebase package. Excuse me. On top of that, I spent about 2.5 hours on the previous Sunday researching and looking up all the Google Auth stuff before knowing about the WSL2 error after trying to actually implement it. This is the setup WSL2 for Firebase. The reason this is at 45% is because I signed it to all 4 of us who have Windows PCs. I am actually going to be creating a video after this one showing them how to go through all these steps to install it, hopefully correctly for them, and hopefully they don't have any more trouble. And then for Sprint 3, we have our enable Google authentication. So now I'll go down to this last week here. I don't really know how to set it up so that way it shows like the exact sprint time. But on Sunday, I spent 6 hours also trying to work on the Google Auth, which is the resulting of all those functions that you see there that just need to be implemented into the actual Firebase next and tested, which is why I have it at about 75%. Now I will go back to the normal view, I think, and go to Sprint 3. So for Sprint 3, this is what we've assigned so far. Du Bois is going to be working with me a little bit on linking some of the back end with home screen. The only reason I say working with me is because I know I'm working on some of this linking application stuff. So I'll be working on the link Firebase application and enable the Google Auth. Du Bois will be working on that Facebook login, and Dallas will continue to fix up the Firebase backend with the email authentication. On top of that, we haven't assigned these quite yet because we might be moving these down over to the different profile screens. We might add a temporary value, whether it's a 1 or 0, to start testing some premium members. But we will definitely be getting to that once we get down to probably Sprint 5, which is like the profile screens, and premium screens, which is like also involving with the settings as well. Features assigned next cycle are clearly shown discussed in the Team Gantt timesheet. So for next sprint features, quantity of work and product management. I think that goes with the Team Gantt chart. So I think that is everything. I know I'm estimated to have I think that's an estimation of 12 hours, but I know with me having to film the video and making sure that they're all set up with WSL2, that might take a little longer. I might actually need to copy this or move this also into Sprint 3 as well. But yeah, sorry if this is too long. If it's too long, let me know. I know it's like 13 minutes. I apologize for that. Bye, Dr. Grissom.